to Intermediate Level English Language Arts.
Hi guys and welcome to English Language Arts Grade 6. Our topic for today would be writing a news report script. Okay, this is different from the first one that you guys said, that writing a news article. Because that was a news article, and usually news articles, these are used for when you publish something that is written. Like for example, you would publish a news article, like for example you're going to publish it in the newspaper or in an online news article. That's how you do it, right? Okay, but for this one, we are now going to be going through how to write a news report script. Now this is a script that is used by reporters, and you would get a glimpse of how it would look like. Okay, so writing a news report script. There are many different ways of writing a news report script. There are many ways of showing it. You have, for example, the AV kind, the audio and the video kind. You even have certain scripts by certain news programs, stations, okay? But there are a few very common things in a news report script. Okay. These three things, these are the lead in, the body, and the lead out, right? Now, the first one, we have the lead in. The lead in would be, it contains very important parts of the news. Okay, this is usually the ones that are answered by what happened or who are we talking about. The very important ones, the main things, the main focus of your news report. Okay, that is your lead in. And usually, reporters would usually put in all of those important facts in that first part, first line, right? So that everyone would it would catch the attention of everyone who is listening, right? The next one, we have the body. The body is it's a place where it contains all of the other details of the news. Usually, you have answers like when, or where, or other. Sometimes, if possible, why. You even sometimes have why. Why is it that it says there, if possible, why? Because not all news would have that question answered. You don't really need to know, or not all of the time you know why is something going on, right? It's not like, for example, you have person who met an accident, a car accident. Sometimes you don't really get to know why first. Why did it happen, or how did it happen? You don't really get those things answered, right? So, if possible, only why. Next, lead out. This is the third one, right? This is the closing spiel, or the closing sentence, or the closing line of the news reporter, right? Usually, the news reporter would mention who he or she is, and where is he or she reporting from, and of course, the greeting as well. Okay, so here we have a sample news script. We have. I'm gonna show you guys how to do it, right? So here I have a sample news. Okay, this one is summarized already. The source is over there. Okay, I got it from newsinfo.inquire.net. Right. So the news is this: the town mayor of Pasig City, Vico Soto, will provide tablets and laptops to public school teachers and students next month, October. This is to help them comply with the requirements of distance learning in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. He said that the delivery would be scheduled on September 30 onwards, and that that there would be a penalty if it is not done. Okay, so this is your basic typical news article. Okay, now we're going to try to transform this into a news report script. Okay, so let's go try to jump right in first. Now let's look for the most important part of the script, of the most important part of the news. The most important parts are usually at the very first part. Whether it's a news report or whether you are reading a news article, okay, the first part is the most important one. So here, example, right, the most important one in the sample news script, we have the town mayor of Pasig City, Vico Soto, will provide tablets and laptops to public school teachers and students. That is the most important part. What is happening? Who is involved? Right? So with this will be your lead in. So it would look like this, guys. Your lead-in would look like this. Pasig City Mayor says he would provide laptops and tablets to students and teachers. Now here, I did not include the name of the mayor, Vico Soto. Well, it's because sometimes it would depend on you whether you would include the who, right, in the lead-in. But sometimes it's a choice whether it's a what or a who. Okay, it's usually a choice within a what or a who, right? But basically, usually you stick with the what, and then you go to the other details. But like, who specifically is he or she, right? At the body. Okay, so the other details, right? We have the other details here. Like, for example, when is this gonna happen? It's gonna happen around next month, October, or because you have two dates there, right? Or September 30 onwards. You even have where. Where is this all located? It's in Pasig City. And the why is answered there, right? Why is he doing this? It's because to help them comply with the requirements of distance learning in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so now we have the body. Okay, so the body would be the mayor of Pasig City. Vico Soto says he would do this to help students and teachers of Pasig City comply with the requirements of distance learning amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. He says that the gadgets would be distributed starting September 30 onwards. Right? Okay. And then next, your lead out. Now the lead out is a very it's a very unique thing. Okay. Sometimes some news reporters would be very creative with how they say it. Like, for example, if you would have news reporters, like, for example, veteran news reporters like Noli De Castro, right? If you guys are familiar with him and you watch ABS-CBN News before, okay, usually he goes like, ito po si Noli De Castro. Magandang gabi, bayan. Sometimes he goes like that, right? Or sometimes some news reporters like some field news reporters like Steve Dailisay, right? In GMA News, you go, Steve Dailisay. Okay, so usually you have the different kinds of lead outs, but for this, right, we'll have to keep our lead outs very simple. Okay, so basically you would just be introducing who you are as the reporter and where are you reporting for, and then your greeting. Okay, so it would look like this, right? The lead-in would be Pasig City Mayor says he would provide laptops and tablets to students and teachers. Body would be the mayor of Pasig City, Vico Soto, says he would do this to help students and teachers of Pasig City comply with the requirements of distance learning amidst this COVID-19 pandemic. He says that the gadgets would be distributed starting September 30 onwards. And then, your lead out, this is Vince Casupang reporting for OISYL News. Good evening. Right? So, what are you guys going to do? You guys are going to create your own news report script. So for your pre-write, how do you prepare for it? Pre-write first, guys. For your pre-write, you guys need to look for or research for any recent news. This is any news from October 25 to November 6, 2020. Right? Take note of the source. Very important, guys. Don't take note of the source. Like what I did, I take note of the source. You guys should too. If it's from a website, right, then copy the whole web address. Paste it somewhere like in Microsoft Word or in one of your notes. Okay, sticky notes, anywhere. Okay, so long as you copy first the website that you're taking it from, the web address. If it's from a news program, right, take note of the news program title and the exact date when you watched or listened to it, because it could be from the radio. Right? And then do the inverted pyramid, just like what you did with the news article, right? You guys will do the inverted pyramid too. Okay? You guys would label it pre-write and you guys would have to place them in your notebooks. Yes, because part of what you're going to submit, guys, aside from your publish, is your pre-writes. Okay, so how would it look like? Just keep it very simple, guys, just like this. Okay, keep it simple. Pre-write. Of course, the other details are there supposed to be, like the date. Okay, but it's gonna look like this. Okay, you have this one. Then just write the most important details. You don't need to be writing it on the lines itself, guys. It's fine. Or if you'd like to keep it on the lines, it's fine too. But just want to make sure that you guys would put there this inverted pyramid. The one with the biggest space is supposed to be the details part, the one in the middle. The one with the least space is supposed to be the most important part because this is the most. That means it has to be just a very few thing compared to the whole thing. It's supposed to be a shorter version of it. The most important. Right? And then the other least important details are going to put it at the bottom. Once you're done with your pre-write, you're gonna go with your draft. Okay, for your draft, make sure that you would write it like how I wrote it. I repeat, you're gonna write the pre-write, the draft. Sorry, you're gonna write the draft just like how I wrote it. Okay, now you have to make sure that you're gonna label it lead in, body, and lead out, and then make sure that these titles are aligned and the paragraphs, okay, or the sentences for the lead in, the body, and the lead out are supposed to be separate, and they're supposed to be aligned as well. Would look like this. Okay, it would look like this. Now, you see here, guys, there is a line in between. Right? See the broken red line. All right. With this broken red line, guys, you could see there that there is a clear space in between the lead in and the actual lead in itself. There is a space between the body and then the actual body itself. There's a space with the lead out and the actual lead out itself. You guys are supposed to do that too. Make space. Okay? And all of those things are all supposed to be in a line. Okay? You don't need to draw the line. You don't draw the line. Okay? But you're gonna keep it as aligned as you can, right? Make sure that there's like some invisible wall there. Alright? Okay. Once you're done with your draft, you go to your revise and then you reread the whole thing. The revise checklist is over there at your books, page 183. Right? But let's just go through the different revise checklists. Okay? Make sure that you have a strong attention-catching lead. Take note, it's going to be strong and attention-catching if and only if you would include only the most important parts. Right? Did I follow the inverted pyramid formula? Have I included all the important information gathered from my pre-writing sources? Have I omitted unnecessary details? Have I removed the unnecessary details? Is there a need to add details? Is there? Right? Do all of my verbs agree with my subjects? All of these things, guys, make sure that they are all yes. Check them all. Alright. Next, when you're done with your revise, go to your edit. Check the grammar mistakes, punctuation marks, spelling errors, etc. All of those things. Minor details. Okay. And when you're done with your edit, you're going to do your publish. Now, for your publish, guys, write the one that you've written down in your notebooks. The activity title will be news script. Make sure that you skip one line. Unlike in the draft, guys, there is no skipping lines. But in your publish, make sure that you do skip one line. Alright? Okay? Follow the way you wrote it in your draft. Okay, the paragraphs must be far from the titles and they must be aligned. And give it an attention-grabbing title. What's an attention-grabbing title? Okay, it could be just like the summary of your lead in. That's actually attention-grabbing already, right? So, for example, in your lead in, you have like a guy got shot by a pellet gun in a moving car. Right? For example, that's your lead in, right? And the attention grabbing title would be a guy got shot by a pellet gun. That's already attention grabbing because like people would be, why is it so relevant that a guy got shot by a pellet gun, right? So give it an attention grabbing title too. Okay? So don't forget, guys, follow the format. I will not replace the format here. It's already second quarter. So I assume that you guys already know the format because it is still part of your grades. You are still graded by the format, following the format. Okay? And that ends our lesson for writing a news script.